Joining us to talk through everything AI this morning at the table, we're thrilled to have him. Bret Taylor is the co-founder of Sierra and the chairman of OpenAI. And there is so much debate going on right now in your world about open weight models, Chinese models, token maxing, the ROI on all of this and everything in between. I think the biggest thing that's happened even just the past couple of days is this new Chinese model that's open weight. Potentially distilled or maybe stolen. I don't know why we use the word distilled, but from other models. I don't know if it's from yours or from Claude. There's some questions about that. But how do you think about that piece of it? Because literally the debate on X right now among, I think, a lot of your friends is about what this all means.
Well, I like to take it back to first principles, which is why do people choose the model for the task at hand? And I think there's really two topics that I think every time I talk to probably 100 CEOs every single month, so I'm pretty plugged into top of mind. And there's two things, which is AI tokenomics, which is how can I know that I'm getting the value from this spend on tokens? And then I'll use the word sovereignty, which is just making sure, like, what is my competitive moat in the age of AI as well? And I'll say one thing that I think is a little bit overblown about these open weight models is they're not necessarily cheaper to run. Whether or not they're cheaper to train, you don't care.
Because you're using just as many tokens. In fact, they may be less efficient.
Yeah, there's this thing called token efficiency, and it turns out the frontier models are much, much more token efficient. And beyond that...
By the way, just for the audience, because there's some people who are watching who may be like, token what? Why do we call effectively energy expenditure token? Is that a fair description of what's happening here?
I'll give an overly simplistic view, and then I'll tell you why it's wrong. You know, you could think of a token. A token is to intelligence like a watt is to electricity, like a unit of intelligence. And token efficient means how many tokens does it take to complete a task?
To answer the question you've asked.
To answer the question. But they're not every token's actually equal. And, you know, if you've used a really advanced model like 5.6 from OpenAI, you'll know, actually, wow, the code it writes is a lot better than the previous model. So it's not exactly the right analogy. And that's the thing is actually, I think what we're seeing is for a lot of tasks, it turns out these frontier models from OpenAI and Anthropic are actually just better than these open weight models. And I think it's important for the labs in the United States if you just think about what do you want from a model, you might want it to be fast for some tasks. Let's say you're looking at every credit card transaction. You might want it to be really cheap because, you know, this task isn't a frontier task to do. You might actually want the highest level of intelligence. If you're an insurance company and you're doing actuary work, you want it to be great. I think the US labs need, for every price, performance, latency, cost, they need to have the best model available. And actually, I think that's more likely than not, just because it turns out that just having open weights isn't actually the main thing driving many of those costs. And, you know, token efficiency, compute efficiency is something that I think the frontier labs are exceptional.
But let's also bring the audience that may not be on board with us into the other piece of the conversation about open weight models. In particular, they're calling it Kimi or K3. This is a model out of China that some people believe is as good as, if not better than, OpenAI's 5.6 or Fable from Anthropic in terms of what it can produce. It may be less efficient, but at the same time, ostensibly should be cheaper. And the other question is how you think they created the model. Some people think the model was effectively stolen. Other people think they actually built it themselves. What do you think?
You know, this is my point, which is, you know, is it cheaper to use is the most important part for anyone considering it. And I don't think that, I think the jury's out on that.
Right. Cheaper to use for you and I, yes.
Yeah.
But there's also a question of how much it costs them to build it. And the reason why that matters is because a lot of the big frontier model makers in the US are spending extraordinary amounts of money to build massive data centers, in part for us to use the models, but in part for you to build the models. And if you could build the models for a lot less, that's a different game too.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's going to be, you know, how efficient is your inference? And I think the frontier labs are still far ahead here, and I think that's really where the value is going to accrue. Because at the end of the day, you know, as you
inference being every time I put in a prompt, I get an answer.
That's right. It's essentially how efficient it is to use these models for a particular price point. And I think this is an area where the frontier labs still have a significant advantage. And you're seeing that from everyday use. I mean, not everyone's used all these models yet, so I don't want to overstate confidence here. But if you're using things like Fable 5.6, K3, 5.6 is still actually, just if you think about what does it take to write this computer program with AI, 5.6 is leading by most of these metrics, and I think that's what the most important thing is.
The other piece of this conversation is we had the CEO of Ramp in here just last week. He actually built a system so you can actually see how much money you're spending at any given moment and whether you're using the right models, meaning sometimes people are asking the highest end model, what the weather is, which is
like driving a Ferrari to the grocery store,
which is like a terrible efficiency situation. And we've had other people. Dara Khosrowshahi was on the broadcast earlier this week. He's argued that he's not seeing the ROI, the return on investment from all of this. We had Alex Karp in that famous now viral video where he says nobody's getting their money's worth for all of this. And how do you think about that piece of it?
Well, I'll bring it to my day job, Sierra, because I actually think the market's in kind of a quirky spot where everyone's worrying about paying for tokens. And it would be like if you signed up for Gmail and you paid per CPU cycle or something. I believe where the world is going is paying for outcomes. So at Sierra, we make AI agents that help companies drive revenue and drive customer service. But our customers don't pay per token.
Right. And by the way, this is Sierra. Why don't you explain what Sierra does for those who don't know?
Yeah, so at Sierra, we help power things like if you call DirecTV or SiriusXM on the phone, you'll talk to an AI agent now rather than a person. You don't need to wait on hold. We just launched a new product called Horizon, which are long horizon agents that help people originate loans or do pre-authorization for medical procedures and truly drive revenue. But what's really interesting about it is two things. One is you don't pay per token, you pay per outcome. You pay per originated loan or per pre-authorization. And number two is we help you develop a competitive moat in AI because we essentially help you compound the data about your customers. So no matter as frontier intelligence improves, you're actually developing this compounding asset, which is the data you know about your customers and your relationships with your customers. And our thinking is it really addresses these two key issues in AI, which is sovereignty and tokenomics.
Okay, let me ask you a question about your own tokenomics then. So for every time that you're having to process one of these phone calls, I imagine you, on your end, are having to use an extraordinary amount of tokens. So does the math for you, meaning when you have a successful outcome for your client, your customer, and they pay you per success, are they paying you more? I'm hoping you're going to say yes. I'm hoping they're paying you more than what it cost you to actually produce, but I'm not sure.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
And I would argue it's easier for us as a applied AI company to essentially amortize the R&D cost of developing specialized models for low latency voice conversation than it is for every company in the world to do that individually. And I think the solution to a lot of the problems with AI tokenomics is we don't have a mature applied AI market. So rather than every company licensing tokens and building things from component parts, if we have more companies like Sierra providing these solutions out of the box that can pick up the phone for your toll-free number and you pay for those outcomes, we can bear the burden of managing tokens.